Now, it is such a big issue in today's connected world. It may shock you to learn that we are now spending, on average, more than 2 hours a day on social media. Jane, as a party. I'd be
We
surprised
live
if it's
in a world of hyperconnectivity where devices outnumber the world population and our addiction knows no bounds. But even the average user will spend 35,000 hours of their life looking down at a cell phone. Every waking moment we push our priorities away. The first kiss good morning, moments with our family and friends. And we're teaching our children that this is how the world is. It's not technology that's the problem, it's how we use it.
There's a strong message in that. It's how we use it. That was Carolyn Pemberton. She's a former Miss Australia turned Miss Adventure who is now helping people to get unplugged. And she joins me now along with Jennifer Stokes, who is a digital literacy lecturer at the University of South Australia. Thank you both for joining me. I feel like this is such a loaded topic to have a conversation about. But Carolyn, just because we looked at that video there, I mean, you're trying to get people out of the space of social media and to live in this great big world we live in. Are our priorities all wrong, do you think?
I don't know if our priorities are wrong, but I think it's very addictive to see what other people are thinking about us or, you know, find out what's going on in other people's lives. And I think it's kind of just turned into something that's a lot bigger and a lot more stressful than it should be. I think social media is a good thing, but it's in balance. You know, I think we're losing the balance a little bit. So my modus operandi is getting people outside, logged off for a little bit, living in this adventurous, amazing world that we have to learn about themselves and create that balance again.
I mean, Jennifer, just how big is this problem? And are we seeing health impacts because of how much time we're spending on our phones?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the issue there, as Caroline rightly identified, is social media overuse. So we're seeing connections there to things like anxiety, depression, impacting on people's sleep, and particularly FOMO, this fear of missing out, where people think everyone else is having this amazing life. And actually it's a highlights reel. People.
Well, I'm not sure who's come up with the term JOMO.
I think it's been in internet culture for a while. Yeah,
See, I haven't even heard of it. I don't spend enough time on social media. And that is the fear of... Oh, no.
It's the joy of missing out. So it's I guess, a real reaction to fear of missing out, but saying, you know what, actually, I want to spend time with my friends and family. It doesn't need to be posted online. And I can get outside, I can enjoy real experiences and be captured in that moment rather than having to be beholden to a screen.
Well, Carolyn, some of the people that you've actually worked with are people who've spent... I know there's one gentleman spent 18 hours a day on social media. You took his phone and you took him to Nepal. Did he have like withdrawals like you see other people have with addiction?
And it was such a fascinating experiment. So basically I took a 28-year-old man who was completely addicted to devices, unplugged him and threw him into an environment where there were no screens. And he took to it straight away because he was having so much more fun that he didn't need his screen. And I think that that's my message, is that in balance, social media is fine. It's about finding things that make you forget your phone, getting out there and living life. And he didn't even realise after a couple of days, first few days, of course, he was a bit like, oh. But then after a couple of days, he was like, my gosh, you know, like, I'm so happy, I'm so proud of myself, I'm doing all these cool things. And we're really connecting. And I think that's the thing is, yes, you can use social media as a way of connecting to people. And it's an incredibly powerful platform. But to the point where we start this culture of comparison, and as you said, it's everyone's highlight reel, but we start comparing our behind the scenes.
And we kind of base our self-worth on how many likes we have, don't we?
And that's where it gets dangerous, this validation loop, this culture of comparison. What I'm not doing is, you know, I'm not doing something that's good enough. What do my friends think of that? And, and there's a lot of pressure, right? I mean, I feel the pressure.
For something that was meant to be fun. But my fear with this, Jennifer, is that our kids see us with a phone here, glued to it all the time. I mean, what habits are they learning?
Well, I think it's really important, particularly for parents, to make a conscious choice around what behaviour they're modelling for their kids. So if you're modelling behaviour where you show, I use this to connect with friends and family, but I do it in a way where I'm not being driven by the technology, I've turned off notifications, I do it at times when it's positive for me, then that's fine and that's great. But if you do it in ways where you're ignoring them to an extent because you're focused on the screen, you're teaching them that behaviour.
Well, I just found this very interesting, Carolyn, that you found that 12% of people use their phones in the shower and 1 in 5 check it during lovemaking. I I mean,
I know. I still. Well, there's 3 of us here, and I'm looking at the crew, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in the audience
someone
saying,
here
"What?"
has done it. I mean, looked at their phone.
And I think, you know, at the end of the day, and Jennifer will know a lot about this too, you look at the neurochemistry involved in our screen addiction and the dopamine hit, and you can kind of understand when it's on par with gambling and like drug use, you can kind of understand that if that phone went off, it's not me. I'm logged off and living, guys. It might be
Someone else in the room. Look, it's a topic we could go on about, I think, for hours, but the point here is just to put our phone down every now and again and live life.
That's it. Log off and live.
Lovely.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.